When have you felt love this week from me?
It was so mind-boggling to be that tall.
What does it say?
It says, I need to listen to Ryan more. He's wise. And so Ryan's reaching for his coffee, and I noticed that he's basically swearing subtly at this woman on the next door table. And I'm like, what did I just see? I wanted to ask you something. I opened my journal this morning. I had a little look at some of the notes I'd made.
Yes. And what do you find?
Do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
You don't know? We obviously don't. Your memory's obviously worrying. Which is good because I've been very worried about my memory recently.
Yes, you are.
Unless I've written this... I don't know. I can't work out whether I've written this myself, in which case I'm even more worried.
What does it say?
It says, I need to listen to Ryan more. He's wise.
Yes.
Did you write that in there?
Yes, I did, yeah.
So that means you read this page.
No, I didn't actually. You just left that open on the table. Now I remember I just added a little footnote for you.
Now I'm rereading this and I'm thinking, I let myself down today. And then I also wrote, I'm weary. Okay, so I need to listen to you more because you're wise. Love that.
I need to rest my weary bones.
Yes, you rest those weary bones.
Yeah.
Yes, that used to be... Where did that line come from? We always used to say that.
That came from my mate Tim.
Ryan used to always say, oh, I must rest my weary bones. Which is so rogue.
Yeah, that was me recycling someone a lot funnier than me.
I thought we could do a bit of a conversation around things that we want to know more about each other.
Oh.
But before, have you got a he said or a she said? I've got one. I can't remember exactly what you said.
You need to start talking to me more clearly because I haven't got anything to pull you up on.
I talk so much.
Waffle,
exactly. I don't say any cool one-liners. You said, you're so tall up there.
What? What?
Okay, so do you remember when I was... Well, actually, it's probably more something that I said.
Yes.
But I just wanted to get into it. It's not even that exciting. But I was stood on we've got this little stool for Leo pushed up against our kitchen sink so that he can wash his hands after going to the loo. And I stood on it the other day. And I was the same height as you.
Just?
Maybe even a little bit taller.
No.
No? Same height?
Maybe a little bit under, I'd say.
And I saw the world through a completely different perspective. It was so mind-boggling to be that tall. Like, what the actual fuck? The world is so much smaller for you. Like, rooms are smaller, stuff is smaller. The weirdest thing is that I then looked down at the hob from being that high up and I was like, how do your arms even reach down to the pans when you're cooking? Because it was so low. Like, you've just got a bird's eye view of everyone's heads. And also, whereas when I stand and I cook, I'm at the same level as the pans. So
the countertop.
And the countertop. So my vision is like inside the kitchen, whereas you're above the kitchen.
Oh, that's so funny.
Isn't that weird?
You're at the level of the countertop.
It's funny. Like, occasionally, I think it's important when you talk to a child that you stoop to their level. Yeah. If you want them to take you seriously or you want them to listen. So I'll often kneel down,
get down
or I'll squat. Yeah, have you noticed that when I'm talking to Leo, I'll squat so that I'm an even more mini person to have a conversation with him.
Yeah.
And then I see what it's like being that teeny. And that must be a bit frustrating because he can't see over the counter at all.
Bless him.
Why have you got an orange?
I don't know.
Is that your
I had two
anxious
No.
fidget toy today?
No.
Your squeezy dog.
Do you want it? Can you eat oranges?
I haven't eaten an orange in so long because I got really worried that the vitamin C was going to trigger my autoimmune condition, which is already very overactive, my immune system. So I thought, I don't need any help. That's a ridiculous theory that I just created myself, by the way.
Apparently there's more vitamin C in a red pepper than there is that orange.
Really?
That's quite a niche fact.
You love peppers.
Yeah, not green ones though.
They're disgusting.
What, in general or just green ones?
Just peppers.
Oh.
I think they're not very good for my tummy. Not good for digestion. Okay, question.
Go on.
I was thinking the other day, I was having a conversation with my friend and we were talking about safe spaces.
Okay.
Which is something that if you do a technique called EMDR, if you're working through some trauma with a therapist.
Sorry, EMDR.
Yeah.
What does that stand for?
Have I never spoken to you about EMDR before?
Well, is it the eye rapid movement jobby?
Yeah.
When you try and recategorize what's happened in your brain?
It stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
Okay. You've done that technique?
Yeah, I did that early on after we had Leo.
Yeah.
I actually found it maybe worse for a bit. But one of the things that you do at the end of the session, after you've spoken about your trauma or traumatic incidences, and you kind of work through them with this technique, you find a safe space. So you have to think up this place in your head and really get into it, really picture
Make it up
there.
or go back through the archives of memories?
Well, you can actually do both. As in you can choose either if you don't have a particularly fond memory, so you can conjure up somewhere. Right. And that's actually interesting you say that, because I really struggled when I was going through this tough time to reflect on the past. I had total memory block. It was as though I'd just died and then been born again. I couldn't remember anything from the past. So I really struggled to come up with any memories. Right. And so they would guide me on things like, well, imagine then that you're in the forest, walking down a hill, crunching on leaves, or you're on a beach and the waves are lapping against your feet, which are both kind of cliche things. Or you can revisit a place where you felt really calm or really happy, very positive. And I wonder what your place would be.
Well, I don't know. Maybe in this conversation I'll find it. But when I think of it off the bat, my mind goes back to spending time at my Auntie Sue's house. Oh. Because that is just filled with the sounds and smells and all the good stuff that I remember from my childhood. And I remember it was at a stage in my life where my cousins and my brothers and myself were kind of in that phase of not everyone's fled the nest yet. University is maybe just about to start for my cousins. My brothers are kind of going through the senior stages of school, but we would all come back for, I don't know, weeks of summer months and Christmas times. And it would always be not always, it would sometimes land on that rotation of Christmases that we do at my Auntie Sue's, and I've just got the best memories.
And how old were you then?
Ooh, well, I guess my smallest memory I can think of from there, I would have been about 5. But I spent a lot of time there as a child, to be honest with you. It was the thing that kind of remained constant in our lives as we moved around as a military family. Yeah. So,
can you remember back to the age of 5?
There's this one particular memory of me falling in their pond, and I was quite small because the pond was quite small. So I must have been around 5. I was tiptoeing over the edge to spot the fish, and I went head first. Freaked out. Everyone came running out the front of the house to kind of fish me out. You've heard that story before from my family.
I know. They like to repeat a good story.
They do, yeah. One
of my earliest memories was my brother pooing in the bath.
What, were you in the bath?
Yes, I was in the bath with him. So yours was falling into a pond. Mine was taking a dump in the bath.
God. Did he do it deliberately, knowing that you were about to get invaded by...
What was I going to get invaded by?
A log.
No, I don't know. We were quite young. There's weirdly another memory where he decided to drop trout by a swimming pool publicly. I've got a lot of memories by the swimming pool, which is nice.
Is that also a poo story as well?
Yeah, he basically... My poor mum was beside this pool, and it was a big, like, communal pool in Spain. It was somewhere called La Manga, I think. There was, like, a big tennis club, and you basically had these, like, little, not like cottages, but sort of mini houses, like rooms that you would stay in, and then there was a central club with a couple of pools. Yeah. And you'd hang out there in the day, and everyone knew everybody because you'd go back year after year. And my brother brought his trunks down and did a poo by the side of the pool, like a dog, I guess. And my mum had to run over and like find something to scoop it up with.
Oh my God! Well, this isn't your safe place, is it? Your brother squatting doing like a dog.
No, but you know what? That could be a good option because it would definitely take me away from things. No, the interesting thing about the safe place is that it's advised not to choose one that has other people in it. or kind of like recognizable figures.
Okay.
So when I was working through the EMDR at the time, I really struggled to find anything that I could think of that felt safe. And given that I couldn't remember any of the stuff before, I've never spoken to you about this or any of this experience. It's such a big part of what I was doing at the time, because all I was doing was therapy for the first 3 months post Leo being born. It was my one activity a day. And I remember really struggling to connect with anything. But the one memory I did have was after Leo was born, because I could only remember things since the birth, was Christmas Day, where I felt okay. Do you remember I put on a party dress and I put a ribbon in my hair?
Yeah.
And that was so odd given everything that had happened, and I couldn't even look in my wardrobe. And my brother came round, and I think there was still like some sort of lockdown thing going on. There? Yeah, there was a resurgence of COVID again. Oh no, my mum had got it and my grandma had got it, and it was dangerous for us all to pull together because I'd been really ill.
This was December 21?
December 21.
So Leo was just a month less than?
He was, yes. Or just maybe like 6 weeks. It was pretty fresh. Like I'd only been out of hospital for a few weeks. And
well, he was
so really in that.
Born on the 15th, so.
Okay, so a month and 10 days then.
Okay. So sorry,
and Sam was here and you were here, and we were cooking a turkey, and my mum had to leave the turkey on the front door because she didn't want to contaminate us.
Yes.
And
remember.
So then we cooked it, you cooked it, and we sat around the table. And then, you know, when I had my therapy after that, I said that would be my safe space because it was the only time I could remember where I wasn't having like a debilitating flashback. But she said, no, it's important for it not to have friends or family members in. But in case, say, we'd had an argument or I was feeling really anxious to do with something to do with you or my brother, then immediately that place doesn't feel safe anymore.
Got you.
So it has to be somewhere.
Right, so I thought that you were going to give me an example from your childhood, perhaps, where you've got a really peaceful, vivid memory. Is that not the case?
I've not thought about it. Before asking you the question, I should have thought about a really good
Well, let me ask you then. What's
place.
Your safe... Can I call it a happy place? What's your happy place? Is it ponies in the shadow? Wait, hang on. What was your pony called? Mrs...
Oh, I had a pony called Mrs. Warthog. A tiny, black, fat Shetland.
Was it a Shetland pony?
Yeah, it was just a really... No, yeah, it was a pony. It was a horse.
It was a horse?
A really small, fat horse.
And where did Mrs. Warthog live?
In South Africa.
That's hilarious. Did you spend much time with her? Galloping on the
We weren't
trails?
doing any galloping. We were just cruising, walking.
Surely that's got to be
But actually, horses are very healing.
Right.
And I think...
I'm bloody scared of them, but sure.
I think actually riding is something that a few people actually messaged me when I was not very well, saying you should try horse therapy.
Yeah, that's why I got you on a horse so far.
Yeah, literally a week after I'd had my butt removed. So that was not great timing, but it's something that I think would be really nice to... Well, we've actually got some vouchers for a little pony... not pony camp, but to take Leo to do a little mini horseback riding session with his cousins from Christmas. We need to book that in.
Oh, sweet. I didn't realise that. Oh, I remember those vouchers being handed over, but I thought it was for bird watching or something.
Bird watching? Yeah. Oh, there was capybara stroking
that
for one set of cousins.
Don't even know what a capybara is. Sounds like a beer. I'll have a bottle of capybara, please, mate.
Oh, I was then thinking of dassies. Capybaras, they're Brazilian, aren't they?
I've no
They're
idea.
like massive guinea pigs.
Were they? Oh, I remember you telling me.
And then they've got dassies, which you get on Table Mountain in South Africa, and they're apparently a really close relative to the elephant, but they look like hamsters, but big ones.
Giant hamsters.
Yeah, giant hamsters. Yeah, so let's book in that little horse sesh, and then I thought it would be nice when we continue to search for this countryside retreat that we could prioritise looking for somewhere near horses.
Oh, that'd be good. Next to a ranch. Ooh. Do you call it a ranch in this country? No.
No,
really.
But maybe that is... Oh, no, actually, that was not a happy place. You've just reminded me of a trip I went on with my mum and my brother when I went through a really awkward phase. I think I just started my period, and my parents had just got divorced, and we went to Wyoming on a dude ranch.
Well, that's cool.
And I had to share a room with all of them, and I was so evil.
Wyoming? Is that Jackson's Hole?
Jackson's Hole, isn't it? Jackson Hole. It's not Jackson's Hole. Like your friend Jackson's Hole.
Jackson Hole. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's Jackson Hole, not Jackson's Hole.
Is that where I just remember a flight being delayed, and we sat in an airport for 12 hours, and me and my brother weren't getting along, and me and my mum weren't getting along. And also it was a really awkward time because I'd started developing like hair on my body.
Yeah.
And I remember there was an option to go in not really an option, but let's all go in a hot tub. God, this is bringing back memories. I thought this was going to be my safe place, and now it's my tortured place. So yeah, I had to go in a hot tub with hairy armpits, hairy legs, and hairy pubes.
A hairy beaver.
Feeling really embarrassed around my mum and my brother.
Bloody hell.
With no razor and no access. There was no boots. Chemist.
No boots on a dude ranch.
No. And there was also quite a fit guy that worked there, and he wasn't interested in me.
Not with those hairy armpits.
No way. I had a really awkward, ugly face.
Ugly face? Ugly duckling face.
So no, not that.
Right, okay. I feel like we're doing process of elimination here. We're going to land on your safe space next. Is that right?
What other places? What nice memories have I had?
What about Corfu or your trips to Corfu?
Why are we talking about Corfu again? We've done that before, and that was just where we both got wasted with our separate families.
Well, I don't know where you went as a child.
No, there was
probably lots of fabulous places.
I don't necessarily think a holiday.
Or maybe it's maybe it's a room in your childhood house.
So yes.
Lansdowne.
Okay. So we used to have a fair in our garden. It was a communal garden. We grew up in Notting Hill. And I have a lot of amazing memories there. Why am I always thinking about tortured ones? Because then there was also this cat that basically killed a mouse in the garden.
Is this why you're in therapy? Because you've got so many torture memories.
But yeah, so actually maybe playing, like having the super soakers out with family and friends in that garden, having a barbecue. Those were good memories.
In the communal garden?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Now when I have a bit of a panic moment, I think about how I feel in a sound bath or when I'm with lovely healing energy Rima. I had a dream a couple of nights ago that was just really lovely of you and I from the early days in our relationship.
The glory years. And when I woke up, I felt like a completely new person in a completely new relationship. Isn't that amazing? When was this?
I woke up.
This week?
Yeah. Have you ever had that before where you've had a dream that's so vivid, like so visceral, that you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel something so strongly. I must go and reconnect with that person.
No, but I do sometimes wake up or go to bed. Do you remember when we went to the Maldives for the first time? We fell asleep at the end of the bed because we were so jet lagged. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good memory. Because we were so relaxed at that point. In our ocean villa. That was good.
What, and then the first ever Maldives?
Yeah.
No, I remember in the one after that, I really wanted to get pregnant, but I hadn't told you about it. So it was looming over me.
Oh, bloody hell.
Well, have you got any questions that you'd like to ask me?
My question is this. When have you felt love this week from me?
From you?
Yeah. I suppose it's when or if. By the sounds of it.
Ooh, when have I felt love from you this week?
Or should we change the parameters this year?
Okay, this year. What month are we? Wait, March. I'm getting confused. Oh, my memory doesn't track back that far. I'm trying to think about, I could just say something really silly, couldn't I? I'm trying to think of a time where you've actually really made me feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Oh, shit.
I'm looking at my diary and I'm thinking, what have we done? I feel like you showed me love by coming to the school tour that we went to last week when you were feeling ill.
Okay, I'll take it.
Just by your attendance, that was a sign of sacrifice and love.
Let me see your teeth. We got a lipstick situation.
See, that's love. You telling me that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Still there?
Nope.
Okay, doing some handyman work. That was showing love.
Oh, well, that was yesterday. I'll take that. I sacrificed my day to that.
What else? I think, to be honest, anytime you collect...
Take the bins out.
Anytime you take Leo to school or collect him, I feel like that's... I feel... Well, maybe that's just sort of just parenthood duty, but I feel a sort of sense of love around that.
Fair enough. Do you want to ask me the
I'm
same?
trying to think, have you cooked for me recently?
All the time, mate. Every bloody day.
Oh, yeah. So this weekend you did. I guess it's, yeah, gosh. We need to make, I think the answer here. So you cooked a meal, but then I was out taking Leo. It shouldn't be a tit for tat, but I was thinking you cooked a really delicious meal for us as a family on the weekend, an amazing roast, while I was out, and I took Leo for a play date with one of our nursery friends. Came back to that, and that was really lovely. But I think it kind of feels like we need to show each other love more often, maybe. Because I don't think I should be struggling this hard. Can you think of a time when I've shown you love this week?
When you bring me coffee in the morning. When you...
I don't think I've done that in a while.
You do it every morning.
Yeah.
Except for this morning. What else? Probably during my wobble over recent weeks, you've been very supportive during that time.
Your way of showing love is by doing things like writing like funny sentences in a journal.
Is it?
Yeah.
Should we have a different question then? Because, look, I'm struggling because I basically just constantly shower you with love, so you can't think of an exact time.
Well, maybe we're not that active in...
Love.
What would you like me to do to show you that I love you? Oh, all right. So I'm getting from that awkward, weird demonstration, I'm thinking of acts of physical touch, perhaps.
What would you like to receive?
I'm so easy. Just nice words. Just like one nice compliment a day. Oh, I'm proud of you for doing this. Oh, that's a nice toenail colour. That's weird. I did say don't comment on body parts in a previous episode. But just like little things. Like, oh, how was your...
There's a nice toenail.
Like, oh, well done for taking that meeting. Well done for cooking breakfast. Not well done. I don't constantly need affirmation from you. Clearly I do. Somebody give me some love and affirmation. But yeah, words, I think, is my most...
Well, I like
most
touch,
helpful.
so why don't you just give me a cuddle and a nice stroke on the back? Why don't you tickle my hair?
Oh, do you like that?
I love it.
So you'd like to be treated like a dog? Just a little bit of this, a little stroke. Koji is in my hands right now. Look, there's another one. Just a nice tickle. Tickle behind the ears.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. Ooh, so that I can get to know you and your mind better.
Go on.
What is your best memory of us together?
Best memory of us together. When we went on that ski trip to Marybelle.
You always refer to that.
We were healthy and happy. And we were just enjoying life and each other at that time. That was great.
I think a lot of our happiest memories have been during times where we've been really active together.
Oh, yeah.
So that honeymoon phase right at the beginning, the thing that really connected us as a couple was the fact that we both loved exercise.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, even when we were thinking, what was the question earlier? Oh, when you said, how do I show you acts of love? Or what would you like for me to do to show you an act of love? I've asked you a few times over the last few months whether you'll train me or stretch with me or host a yoga class with me, because I look back on those memories so fondly, because that's you at your best when you're doing what you know how to do really well, but also you're dedicating some of that time to me and you're teaching me something, which feels really special.
That worked for a period of time, and then you started to tell me how to coach you. No, that's not how you do it.
No, I've never been like that. You're such a liar. Yeah. That's just not true. No, what you're referring to is when we used to co-host classes for our turtle clients. And then I'd be like, let's bring loads of energy. And you'd be like, no, I'm just going to be really chilled and calm and relaxed in the morning.
You're basically asking me to start training you again in the gym or do yoga with you here, which I can do that. So,
well, I was speaking to who was I speaking to? Somebody yesterday about this. I did say to you, I'd love it, and this might be a step too far.
You want me to go to a sand bath?
We're going to a sand bath.
Oh, you're going to.
But also, I would love it if we could journal together in the morning.
No, I was going to say no to that.
Wouldn't that be nice if we could just, when I've lit the candle and I'm sat on the floor and I'm doing my thing, wouldn't it be nice if we could do it together?
I'm going to say no to that one. That's a time of personal space and solitude to do journaling, and there's no way I could do that as an activity for the masses. Couldn't do that.
Okay, solo.
It's also quite private. That's not to suggest that I'm talking about you, but there will be times where I will be talking about you in my journal.
So I guess much like the safe space, you need that to not feature anybody else in it.
Yeah.
In which case, butt out of mine and stop writing me messages.
Don't leave it open on the kitchen table then, mate. But back to the me coaching you and taking part in some yoga ladis. It works both ways because I find it very attractive when you exercise.
Is that because you'd like to see me doing self-care-y stuff?
Yeah.
To make myself feel good? In
general, it's an attractive, I think quality is the wrong word. It's just an attractive thing when people take care of their bodies.
Well, let's do that. Now that I'm feeling well and good again, let's maybe do a little bit more stuff together.
We get on that squat rack downstairs and,
I don't know. I like doing it up here. I like to be in the light. I like to be near bright windows. I feel like with the gym, there are two kinds of people. People that like to work out in a bright, light, airy space, and people that like to work out in a dungeon or like a club, like a rave setting.
I don't have anywhere else to put that kit, me amigo, so you can lean into it.
Well, outside, do you remember we used to have a gym outside?
Oh, I do. I built it with my bare grizzly hands with a canopy and all sorts.
So maybe we get back into that and we bring out a few bits.
No. I like separation and segregation in the house. Each room has its function.
Really?
Yes, that's why it's slightly annoying that my gym mat is now constantly in that kitchen. There's a gym downstairs. Do it down there.
Okay, bossy.
I'll light some candles for you, get some incense down there.
Oh my God, that's what's missing. Is I was going to light some incense for this chat.
Because it stinks.
What's your favourite smell on a chick? This is a funny one, actually. I'd love to get the listener's opinion on this. I know what your favourite scent is, so I don't know why I asked it. You love Gucci Flora, which they don't make anymore.
Yeah, that's so weird.
But it was in a little like octagonal short stubby thing. And I think it was blue with a white lid, and it smelt very distinct, and it's been discontinued.
Shame.
But you loved it, and I had it, and you bought it for me, and I wore it, and that was sort of on and off for a long period of time. And every time I'd wear it, you'd comment on it. But then what I realised, which was a little bit odd, was that it was actually what your mum used to wear.
Only because I bought it for her. As in, I came across this scent that I just thought was the most delightful smell.
So did you buy it for your mum?
Yeah.
But wait,
well, my mum first, yeah.
Oh, so your mum wore it and then I wore it?
Yeah.
I suppose that's quite sweet in a way. So that's not creepy?
No. There is only one version of that story, and that is just a sweet one. Is there anything I'm not doing that you'd like me to start doing?
Well, that's the ultimate question. Okay, two things. One, stop complaining about the dogs. That would make me so much happier. You just got to let that one slide, especially given that we're going to be getting 2 more.
What?
Because one of my lifetime goals, this is lifetime goals. So there's yearly goals, there's daily goals, weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. Lifetime is the umbrella of goals. It sits right at the top. And you know you've reached peak happiness when you tick a lifetime goal.
What, and that's 4 dogs?
And that's having 4 Cavalier King Charles Spaniels, 1 in every colour. Colourway.
You can't
and now
hear
you
that.
can hear them. Because they're saying, yes, it sounds like a great idea. It's a party. It's a pooch party. And Ryan absolutely hates the dogs. Just admit it. Sometimes you put on a performance in front of people and you go, yeah, Toto's mine. And I'm like, he's lying.
I find them stressful. Yeah, I do find them stressful.
Okay, so can we make a
But
pact
who's the one
today?
that's
Let's
walking
shake
them?
hands.
Who walked them yesterday and today? Me.
Who wanted to be
Who's the one that's picking up
stay-at-home dad?
shit from the kitchen, let alone the garden? Who's picking up shit?
Who wanted to be a stay-at-home
from the
dad?
kitchen?
You're in charge of domestics now. Okay, listen, shake hands.
I'm not shaking hands.
No, promise you'll stop complaining about the dogs. Okay, just for a week, try it. See how much lighter your mood is and the whole energy around you if you stop ratting out the dogs. Okay, shake my hand. Another thing.
No, don't shake my fingers like a fucking creep. Shake it properly. There you go. Jesus, I can't. That's one.
You
thing
know
I
what
won't
we should
tolerate.
do? What, a sloppy handshake?
Yeah, well, that wasn't even a handshake. That was like a hanging off my.
You know what we should do? We need to do a little video for the Hesaidshesaid on Instagram, which is us doing. Do you remember that handshake we used to do when we loved each other?
What do you mean when we loved?
No, but
in the
heyday when we used to go like do like the little parent trappy bump on the bums on the bum cheek.
Yeah, I remember the bumps on the bums.
So let's do one of them, and let's do one of them every time we celebrate something together. Okay, so no dog complaining, and also this is something I would really like, and it's not going to be that hard. Every evening, can you just ask the question, how's your day been? And can you tell me the stuff that you're doing as well? Or stuff that you've done?
You can't, no. We just shook hands and then you slid something else on top.
Yeah, but okay, so when you do things, you're so mysterious. It's so annoying. I know nothing about you. So actually, this is a really important game because you just like slip in and out of the house. I don't know where you're going. I don't know who you've seen. I didn't know about the priest until we had this conversation. I think it's important that when we're living our lives that you tell me what's up.
Koji, please don't bark, please. Okay? Please don't bark.
That's such a dicky. But actually,
please refrain from barking and causing stress.
But how much nicer is that?
Oh, that's another thing. He eats a log of butter. Who's the one that has to take him to the shower and clean his arsehole? Me, not you. You're not taking care of these beasts. It's me.
Okay, listen to what happened. So I was making a pavlova cake on the weekend, layered sheets of meringue, delicious, lots of butter and stuff. Leo decides to move. I ordered like 3 logs. Why are we calling them logs of butter?
Well, because they weren't
logs. We've already said logs in the bath, and now we're on to logs of butter. So I noticed that there was an empty, tiny smidgen of a butter packet on the floor. And I was like, hang on a minute, where's that butter gone? Not only had they eaten an entire thing of butter, like a super-sized me butter this big, really long, but they'd also eaten the wrapper. The only reason I realised that this has happened, because I noticed there were patches of oil on furniture, and I was like, that's weird, that doesn't look like wee or sick, I can't clean it up, it's really oily. Toto had basically become a dog microwave. So butter goes in, body warms up butter, and out pours liquid butter, just liquid butter, nothing else. Just dripping liquid butter from his bum as if he's like literally just been like wound up, going zzz. Like, I feel like there was a trend on social media. I didn't even spend that much time on social media. You could take a picture of your dog and there was a revolving animal that looked like they were a microwave. Toto was was a real life version of that. Anyway, yes. So yeah, the dogs can sometimes be tricky, but they are also lovely. What would you like me to do that I don't already do?
That's a good question. Can I rain check it?
Yeah.
Because it's a good question, and I don't have the answer right now, but this is a good question, and actually would probably be a really healthy thing to do as a sort of check-in for couples. What can I do this week to improve or whatever?
I think so.
Oh, let's rain check it.
Okay, nice. I think the thing is, if you don't communicate about these kinds of things, then you never progress in a relationship. If you don't ask, you don't get, and you can't just assume that someone is a mind reader. We so often assume that our partners are mind readers and that they're inside our heads and that they know what we want when they very often don't.
Why don't I set you a challenge of watching a movie with me this week? With no phones, no laptops, no distractions. Put Leo down and we have a movie night, because we haven't done that in, I think, probably years.
You're so right.
Yeah, we need a bloody lockbox.
Okay, well, let's do that. And also, as a motivator to me, let's get loads of delicious snacks. Right?
As a motivator.
Well, you've got to paint the whole picture. It can't just be like, let's just sit in front of the telly and just stare at a big screen for 2 hours watching a movie.
Fine.
I would like to, get the mood lighting going, get some popcorn, maybe some marshmallows. Maybe we could get the projector screen out, make a real song and dance of it, get duvets down.
Great idea.
I know so many couples who do pass like ships at night, and it's unsurprising with the busy lifestyles that people lead these days, with working hours being so long.
Yeah.
Different routines and things, and with busy parenting, that I think that these sorts of questions can be really helpful to bring people back together again.
I agree.
I'm really excited for this week's listener submission because I think it's going to be a good one.
Show me.
I've been loving the podcast so far and all the advice given, so thought I'd reach out to you guys for some help in my relationship. Me and my partner have been together for 7 years now. Luckily, no sign of the 7-year egg, and we're almost at 8, thank goodness. We're great in so many aspects of life, but not when it comes to social events. I feel whenever we're in a social setting, we always end up spending the whole time apart. We split off with friends and won't come back together until the end of the night. It's no major issue, but I'd appreciate some time being spent together when socializing, as I see other couples doing this. Ooh. Comparison. I've brought this up to my partner before going to events, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. I appreciate I have a part to play in this too, and probably don't proactively go to find him. The onus isn't just on him, but I was just wanting to know how you two navigate social event situations, and any advice you have to offer would be hugely appreciated.
Probably not the couple to offer advice in this arena.
What, because we've been so antisocial?
Yeah.
It's something, though, that loads of people will be able to relate to, because there are those couples that stand really united, that come as a pair, and then there are those who come and they kind of go off and have their own friendship groups, or they're quite independent. And I actually feel like I'm probably a little bit more independent in that social setting scenario, whereas you're more paired up, like a partnership.
Most of the social events we go to is largely your friendship groups there.
Not recently. All your friends. Lots of stuff together. But yeah, maybe.
But that's, we're talking more of like if we go to a birthday or a wedding, are we not?
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it's quite cool. I wouldn't be, unless I was fully out on a limb and kind of exposed and not sure who to talk to. That's the only situation where I'd be like, where's my partner in this? But that aside, I'd be quite comfortable with the idea of just see ya.
I think it's a sign that you're both really confident people.
Yeah. That
you can go off and work a room on your own without having to be, side by side.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's more of like is this something that you actually genuinely want to spend more time with your partner, because you could do that separately and you'd have more quality time if it was just you two? Or is it more that you want to give off an impression to other people that you're united? So is it not an ego thing, but a bit more of a you care what other people think thing?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because I can see both sides. I can see why sometimes you might want to look like you're a united front in front of certain groups of people. But I don't think anyone really is judging or...
No, I don't think so.
...is kind of that interested.
No.
I remember when I went to that wedding not that long ago and I didn't really know anybody, and I was really grateful that you were by my side. And that was also probably... I think it depends on your mood. Sometimes I'm feeling uber social. Sometimes I just want to retreat and feel safe and comfortable. And I just want to... Obviously, I don't drink, so I just want to hang out with you and have nice conversation, like intimate conversations with a few people, meeting a few new people.
Yeah.
Other times, quite happy to be a social butterfly and go off and chat to everybody.
Yeah.
It's so dependent on the scenario. It depends who's there.
What was the question within that message? Was it a sort of...
So
I
suppose she's brought it up with her partner before going to events, but it doesn't seem to make a difference. I appreciate I have a part to play in this too, but probably don't proactively go to find him. I think you've got to go and find him at least and go, hey, can I join in on this conversation to get involved in it? Otherwise, you're fully, blame. So it's kind of, I love that this is a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah, I was going to say, this isn't really a problem in a relationship, is it?
I think it's a nice problem to have. This is a really nice, this is actually a really beautiful case of like having a really strong relationship. You've been together for 8 years and this is quite a nice, jovial problem to have. You know what, I'm going to go as far as to say I find it like a little bit of an ick when couples would only spend time with each other. I think it's important to remember that you're not just a half, you're a whole. You're a whole person on your own. And the joy of actually going and splitting up on a night out is that then you come together and you can trade stories at the end and you've got more to talk about than if you do everything together.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to have the separation.
I think I'm more in that camp myself, yeah. I don't really see this as a problem. I think it's quite sweet.
Yeah. You could always play a little game.
Or just a little look across the room, just so you know that you're like, I haven't forgotten about you, I'm just having a good time. Like a...
Oh my God, yeah, like we used to, yeah. So you do like a little silly thing. When you're on the way there, you're like, hey, I know you're there. Like you're still my number one.
Yeah.
And yeah, then you acknowledge each other. What, have we ever spoken about that?
What?
No, this.
No, we haven't.
Where does it come from? Oh, the guy, there was a viral
that,
video.
Yeah, like...
Take a photo. Yeah, take a photo now.
Like, yeah, stick when he's got his tongue out.
Do it.
He's trying to. I think it's a New Zealand like Maori guy next to a statue in the jungle. He's like, "Get it when my tongue's out." He's like, "Now."
Yeah, but then he's saying like now, but he's like, "No, now." You're like missing it. Is that?
Yeah. His girlfriend behind the camera is just taking the piss. He's like, "We'll do it when my tongue's out." She's like, "When?" Now.
That's so good. So maybe that's your thing. So you go like this when you're in the car. Like we have like little signs, don't we? Like this. Have we ever spoken about that? We'll speak about that in another episode.
That is too good.
Okay, that's a whole nother story. But we've got a few little signals to one another, and then it's just look across the room. You're like, I gotcha.
That needs some explanation.
Code red. Should we talk about it now? Yeah, because it makes sense.
If you want.
So we are at
Colbert.
We were at Colbert, a restaurant in Sloane Square where I actually went for
quite a smart
lunch
place.
2 days ago. A French restaurant full of locals. Lots of people go there for breakfast. We went, me, Ryan and Leah. Just a little intimate family breakfast. Nothing fussy. There's a couple on the next door table and the woman is being so stressful. So she's literally complaining about every bit of food that lands on the table. She's like, the bread's wrong. I want a baguette, not focaccia. It's not hot. Yep. No, actually, can I get toast, but no butter, but with eggs, but sunny side down. She's being a total prat.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're like exhausted because it's a Sunday morning and we're just like, whatever, parenting. Leo's probably been up bed all night. So our chat's a bit dry anyway. So we're not exactly engaged in full-on conversation. But I notice Ryan goes like this with his finger. So basically, for anyone just listening, you know when you swear and you put your middle finger up, right? But Ryan's got it on, so it's not upright, it's sideways. So it's like you're doing a sideways motion.
As I'm reaching for my coffee.
Yeah, and so Ryan's reaching for his coffee. And I noticed that he's basically swearing subtly at this woman on the next door table. And I'm like, what did I just see? Like, but not to anyone. So this is something he's doing for his own enjoyment because he didn't want me to see it. He didn't want the woman to see it. No one else is in the room with him enjoying this moment. He's doing this like side swear, and I've noticed that you've done it since then. So he'll just subtly be like,
"Well, not as a joke." Since then, you caught me proper red-handed in a moment where I was like, I was sat opposite this woman, watching her just completely demolish every waiter that tried to come over and help the situation. And I just got more and more frustrated by her whole demeanour. I ended up swearing at her, and you caught me in the act.
But in a way,
I wanted to stand up and like, but I went for a subtle like, oh, fuck you.
No. But you didn't say anything.
No, I know, but in my head I was.
But so you were,
And you were like, what are you doing?
It was the most juvenile thing I've ever seen anyone
was.
do, any grown man do in their entire life.
Yeah, but it made us
But it's
laugh.
become iconic.
I'll just reach for my coffee. Oh, fuck you.
No, it was more subtle than that. It was literally just like, wishing you the best of luck in your next social endeavour. And thanks so much, guys, for writing in. As always, we love to hear from you. So do send in your he said, she said. Keep your ears pricked throughout the week.
You
can call out partners, but also it doesn't have to be a partner. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be a friendship. It can be a family member. It can even be a child. Any he said, she said. Yeah. Something that someone says that leaves a bit of a mark on your brain. We'd love to hear them. So email in. The email's in the show notes, isn't it?
I did an Insta story this week asking from a male perspective about some struggles that men might be going through. Got loads of interaction around it. So from that, I'm sort of hoping that maybe we can get some more emails from
great
from guys as well. Okay, guys, thank you for listening. As always, our hope is that these conversations will spur or encourage or facilitate your own conversations, and maybe some of the sort of topics we were talking about around things that we can do to show more love and improve week by week. Maybe that will
give you guys confidence to pull your partner up on some of the things you want them to budge on.
Yeah. Be nice to your pet dogs. What was the other thing you told me to do?
Oh, great. I'm so glad you can already remember. Anyway, in the meantime, if you guys want to follow, subscribe, listen, review, share, all the love, we would be so, so grateful because it helps more people access our podcast.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.